And welcome back to Crosscut Dwarf Fortress tutorial. So today we are going to do the one thing that is very important in Dwarf Fortress, but in fact we're going to be doing two things. I think I have enough time in a 20-minute video to do two simple things. Number one, we are going to cover rooms, how to build rooms, and how to make certain rooms for different tasks. Second thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be building, and goddamn freaking skip, I always forget to close this thing. Alright, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering buildings and the production of items. So, let's go with that. So, now as you can see, we chopped down a bunch of wood, we got a bunch of shit going, so let's go DT, and let's chop down another bunch of wood. So I'm going to chop down practically every single tree here, and I'm going to gather as many plants as I can, as usual, because, as you know, we don't have that much food on hand. And to build above ground farm, I think I'm going to build like a wall around here in this upper level. Don't forget, if you want to go up and down levels, use the greater than and less than keys by hitting shift, and use the key between the M and question mark keys to go up and down levels. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of plants here, so might as well go to it with D and P and gather the plants. There you go. All these plants are set to be gathered. Plants regrow fairly fast. Trees take a little longer, but trees will always be respawning as long as you haven't turned it into a barren wasteland, which I might show you how to deal with. But this is an easy map, okay? This is the really easy map, okay? There's not many animals. There's like a few Xen Infector. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, might as well do a little bit of this. Okay, so if you hit U, this is for units. You will see your guys. So you have the miners and you'll see what they're doing. Currently you have 7 dwarfs. Then you see your pets and livestock. These are the animals you brought with you. You go to the right again. There's the other. Other is anything else that's on the map. It could be enemies, it could be invasion, it could be just enemies. Now, as you can see, there's a bunch of animals here, especially these Xen infestors. So you want to check these animals out. You want to be like, what the fuck? So you hit V, and it'll give you the description of this animal. So the size is between 50 and 200. That's the general size in units. I don't know what the unit is, but it's just a size factor. The Xen species looks like an oversized maggot. Its thick carapace covers a bloated body, which is too heavy to walk. So the infector have curl into a ball and roll around, 4 tentacles protruding from the sides, always in motion. Xen are a terrifying species, considering the consisting of mutilated and deformed beings. So basically, they impale their larvae into the prey, which they devour, and their soul transforms into the body, turning the victim into another Xen. So this animal can be pretty freaky. If they start hunting our dwarves, they will plant an egg into the dwarf, and he will rip out and like all that. If you want, like, let's say you just spotted these animals on the map. Let's say you're looking around. Maybe I want to build something here. I don't know. Whoa, what the fuck is this? You can hit K. K is to look around. So you know you can look here. You see here there's an alder tree, more alder trees. There's an oak tree, and there's a bunch of shrubs. Now you come over the animal, Xen Infestor. Okay, I want to know what this is. Hit enter. There you go. You're back into the same screen. K is also used on your dwarves, so hit F1. And I want to look at Silvernote. Alright, so there you go. Owned objects, that's how many objects he has. But then here there's a lot of things you can do. Y is to customize the name, but we did that in the therapist. So now what you're going to do is everybody every dwarf is really individual. So if you hit enter again, this is everything you want to know about the dwarf. So, Silvernote has been quite content lately, and he has been satisfied at work lately. Everybody starts with content, and then it varies depending on how many people die and if the guy lost all his babies due to frickin' dragons. But the mood, it will tell you exactly what he's pissed off about. Then he is a casual worshipper of a dubious worshipper of Mothdath and blacking rules. So this is basically what he worships. He's a citizen of the Sins of Malice. He is a member of the Volcanoes of Scorching, and he had arrived on the 1st of Granite of the year of 126 this year. So he's 52 years old, and then here's his description. He is very long, as sideburns, blah blah blah. Then here are his traits, and this is very important if you really want to micromanage what your dwarves have in their individual rooms and what they see, because you might want to say, okay, the dwarf, he's very, like, his repercussive powers, very slow to tire and agile. So if you make this dwarf Silvernote a soldier, he will have these traits to his benefit, but he is quite susceptible to disease. So if he goes up against somebody that casts I don't know, a poison, he's gonna freaking die, like, honestly. So just beware of that. You don't have to do this for every individual dwarf, but you just keep these in consideration. Now here, Silvernote likes dark red brick. So this means that you might want to build a room or put some bricks into his room. He likes water, yellow diamond, and it goes on and on and on. These are all the things he likes. So if you really want to go like all out, you can actually pick these items, like freaking, okay, I'm gonna make one yellow crystal gem and I'm gonna throw it in his room. I'm gonna make one yellow diamond chair and pitch it in his room or something like that. But that depends on the resources you have on hand. So okay is to look around. So here there's wood logs. Hit enter on the wood logs. It just shows you the weight because it's nothing interesting. But you can go into further detail with other stuff too. You can, for example, look at the animals. Look at every single dwarf and read it out, and you can make a pretty good story out of it. Okay, so I covered an extra thing which is called looking around. So K is your best friend to look around. But however, as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff that keep flipping inside the building, inside the wagon, and you can't see anything. You hit enter. There's nothing in here. No, there's nothing. Alright, well, don't worry. If you want to look for items that are still inside a building, you hit V. Whoops. Damn it. No. Forget V. T. T is what's inside a building. So, here's the wagon and what's inside the wagon. So there's fungi wood, 3 fungi wood, and there's a B on the right side, right over here. The B means that it's used in the building. So this wagon's made out of 3 logs. Plump helmet spawn bag. Now you have to use the plus and minus keys to go up and down this list on the right, on the number pad. Hit enter. Okay, how many plump helmet spawns we have? Plus and minus key again. Alright, we got a bunch of plump helmet spawns. Now we could go to the granite nest box. We can go down to the anvil. You can just hit enter on a bunch of items and on the barrels and see how many drinks do we have. We have 5 drinks left in this one. So yeah, that's how you look inside of a building. But first, you're gonna need to know. Okay, bro. I cut all these trees down and shit. I cut all these trees down and all that. You got a bunch of logs running around. What the fuck do I do with them? Well, don't worry, bro. I'm gonna teach you that in no time. But first, I need to get some rocks. Well, I got plenty of rocks actually. So let me go to the first rock layer. So as you can see, if you hit K and you see these little boulders here, shale. Now, if you hit enter on rocks, it will usually tell you what it's good for. So you can sell 5 shale rocks at a shop. That shop is a very late building. You don't need to worry about that. You can excavate stones with it, which is basically you go to your archaeologist and he's going to try to find items inside of it. You can grind it into sand. You can make basically this is what it's used for. So you can make melt boulder / ore into bars. So okay, good. And I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Phone and had to go relieve myself. Alright, so we are back. And now let's keep going with how it operates. So, now you have this wood. What do you do with it? Or you have the stone. What do you do with it? Well, you can build workshops. And workshops are a way of transforming raw material into certain products. Either building materials or goods that you're hopefully going to be able to sell to some merchants. So basically, the way it operates is the buildings key, which is B, right up here, B. And here you have a bunch of buildings, like hundreds of them. But if you want to build, let's say, a bed for your dwarves to sleep, you hit B again. It says it needs a bed. Because first thing you have to do is you have to manufacture the frickin' thing. So now this is very complicated. So you're gonna hit W back in the menu. So you're gonna hit B and W. Escape is your best friend if you ever get lost, or if you ever get into a command you need to get out of. Just hit escape. Here is a list of all the workshops. Workshops are a way to manufacture stuff. So you know you have down here the manufacturer Dwarvica. You can manufacture a big bunch of stuff. You can manufacture basically everything that you need in the game. But right now, at least for starters, you should build two things. Build the where is it? Build the Mason's Workshop by hitting M. And then it's going to give you a little interface, you know, a little 3x3 square. Find an empty spot where it's green. Make sure it's close to your wood supply if you can. And then be like, perfect. Enter. Alright, what are you going to make out of it? Just choose anything, honestly. Enter. There you go. Now, once the Mason's Workshop is built, you're going to build a Carpenter's. Carpenter is C. There you go. I'll place another one right next to it. Now your dwarves are not going to immediately go build them unless you're busy, but hopefully they will. So hit space, and there you go. The Mason's Workshop is built. So what are you going to do? You're going to hit A. And in the Mason's Workshop, you will need to build some stuff for your dwarves. You know, it's like whatever they need. Honestly, I think you should always start with kind of a dining room type of area. So build like, I don't know, 8 chairs. So to build in a building, you have to hit Q. And then after that, you say add new task, A. And then go down to chair or throne. Masons, they have different names. So throne is just a chair. So hit enter. And then hit A, enter, until. Or you can hit AC, AC, AC. And build a bunch of chairs. So now, as you know, your mason is going to go down and pick up a rock, come back up, put it into the thing, and make some chairs. Now, he might run out of rocks. So what I would recommend is, like, make sure you have enough rocks before you build a mason's workshop. Hit space and allow your little guy to do a thing. Tick, 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 tick. And anyways, I think there's enough trees, but whatever. Just waiting for my carpenter to get the building built if he can. There you go, he's building it. There you go. So the most important thing in a carpenter's workshop is A and B. B is for bed. And I want you to like try to max out this, so build like, I don't know, 10 beds, as many as it will allow. So Q again to get into the building, A to add a new task, and B for the bed. And also there's a lot of other things you can build, you know, like you can build statues and stuff. But right now we're going with the basics. So now we're just waiting for the chairs the thrones to get built, and he's building them at a fairly decent speed. While that is going on, I will show you how to build a room. What I would recommend is you dig down until the sand becomes stone. So here, as you can see, is a peat. Here it's fire clay. Hit K and look at a wall in order to see what it's made out of. And then here is shale. Shale is a type of stone. You will see it by the blocks it drops. Alright, so this is going to be our first level where we're going to actually start building the area where our dwarves are going to get all the get rooms and get-togethers and stuff. So hit D to designate, D for mining. Now you're going to draw a 3x3 space like this. Well, I mean 3 wide. And then you're going to go down really, like, pretty far out, I would say. Like, it doesn't have to be really far to start, just to make a hallway. Then hit space and let your dwarves do their thing. It's very important to know what type of rocks you're hitting, because there's some rocks you're gonna have to avoid like you wouldn't believe. Most importantly, avoid warpstone at all costs. Avoid warpstone, whatever you do, unless it's stable. And it started raining, so my dwarves are gonna get depressed real fast. Next thing, avoid living stone. Avoid it. Don't dig into it. If you see living stone at the bottom down here, get out of there. Like, stop time. Go find where your dwarves are by hitting U, going to your miners, and then hitting C to zoom to creatures. And, like, avoid it at all costs, because if not, you're gonna get into, like, hell. Okay. So now we're gonna build a little room. So we're gonna build it like something like this. This is gonna be like the dining hall. And on the other side, we will have sleeping quarters. It will not be individual rooms. It will just be basically a giant barracks type of setup, just beds lined up. All right. So again, leave your miners do their jobs. Let's go back up to the surface by hitting F1 and check what progress our guys are making. So the chairs have been built. Now the most important thing now is to go to the mason's workshop by hitting Q, hitting A to add a new cask, and build basically the same amount of tables that you build chairs. So I'm gonna build, I think, 8 or 9 or 10, whatever. It doesn't really matter because stones are in abundance anyway. And we're waiting for the beds to be produced, so we're waiting. Our farmers are still gathering plants, which is pretty, it's a good sign. So now I'm going to show you how to make rooms. Rooms are very basic. They're, again, you just dig out a space. And, there you go. Oh, you struck coal. Coal is semi-dangerous, because if they mine too much of it, they could, like get intoxicated and have lung disease and then die. So, just be careful. Certain types of stone you want to mine very carefully and in increments. Now, as you can see, all my miners just left, and they have that blue arrow pointing down, meaning they're thirsty. A brown arrow means they're hungry, and a white arrow means they're tired. So that means they're gonna go and take a nap. So as you can see, they're mining pretty fast, and it's really weird how they mine. They never mine like in straight lines or anything. So here you go. This is gonna be your little dining room. So just waiting on stuff to get built. As you can see, we hit some coal here. And granular roots. I didn't see that in a while. Granular root wall. I don't even know what that is. Anyhow, leave your dwarves finish up their work. Once they have, they'll leave. Now you're going to check, are all the tables built? Are all the beds built? Beds are almost done. Tables are almost done as well. So now the beds are done. So now what you're going to do is you're going to actually build something called barrels. Or V. So hit Q to go to the carpenter's workshop, A to add a new task, and V to, so Q, A, V. And then you could build, like, let's say 10 of these. Barrels are basically food shortage devices, not only drink storage. So I'll build a few. Now let us get these rooms set up. So let's hit B for build a building, and now we can finally build that bed by hitting B. Now wherever you say you're going to put your dormitory, right up here, we're going to place one here. And you can design these pretty intricately, and I have a general idea of how I want to do this. How am I going to do this? In fact, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Oh well. I'm going to just figure it out as I go along. So basically, to place a bed, you just hit enter, and then what bed you're going to place, enter, and there you go. So you're going to place a bunch of beds here. There you go. You have 10 beds basically placed. And now your dwarves, if they're not busy, should bring beds and build the bed and place them. So there you go. That's basically how you build a bedroom. Well, at least a dormitory to start with. Now you're gonna build another thing. You're gonna build, and then hit T for table, or find it in the list. Enter, enter, T, enter, enter, T, enter, enter. Keep building tables up against a wall, or however you want to design it. It's up to you. I just like it all lined up against a wall, and hit C for chair or throne, and build the chairs right behind the tables. There you go. And I'll leave the dwarves carry all the shit down. Another important thing that you're gonna need is doors. So as you can see, the carpenter will be busy. The mason, we're gonna ask him to build a door by hitting Q on the mason's workshop, A, and then D for door. And then we're gonna do AD, 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 AD. There you go. Build a bunch of doors. Now we just have to wait a bit. Let's check the animals real quick by hitting U. There's an eagle, a pen-game, an ishker. There's a bunch of animals, but they don't seem pretty harmful to us, so just gonna leave our guys finish up placing all the tables and stuff. And as you can see, our miner fell asleep on a bed. So now he's gonna have a happy thought because he slept on a bed. Just a little bit more happy. He's gonna get depressed eventually, don't worry. When, like, there's gonna be blood everywhere and, like, organs and all that. Anyhow, so this might take a little while depending on how many tables and beds and shit you moved around, but doesn't really matter. Oh, you see this miner? You see this miner? You see this farmer? They just went to eat on the bed. On the fucking bed. On the table. And as you can see, once they finish eating a plant, they drop a seed. Because, you know, like, they're very diligent with what they eat. So they're going to take some berries, and before they eat the berries, they're going to open them up. They're going to take the seed out, and then they're going to eat the berry. So, yep, that's what they're doing. Now, once everything's done and this guy starts building doors, I'm going to teach you how to make rooms. So, here's the dormitory. You should have one entrance, maybe two wide, one wide, however you want to do it. You're going to hit B, you're going to hit D to place a door. Now, doors, you can place double doors by placing them like this, D. Once the dwarf gets out of the way. Alright, placing it like this. Or if you have one, just place one door. And let somebody place the door. Let them place the doors. Or, you don't need to, because that's just designated to be a room now, because it has doors on it. So what you're going to hit Q. You're going to go to one of the beds. Anyone. Hit R to make a bedroom. Now you're going to use the plus key on your number pad. Plus, 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 plus. Until it fills the entire room, or as much as possible. Hit enter. And it's going to give you a little interface telling you, okay, I just made a bedroom. What kind of bedroom? Do you want it a barracks bedroom or a dormitory? Or an individual bedroom? So I'm going to say make it a dormitory by hitting D. Yes. That means everybody's going to... Anybody who needs to sleep will go sleep in here. It's not the best type of bedroom, but it's a good start. Next I'm going to change this into a barracks, but that's going to be in the military tutorial. Hit escape. And the guys are wrapping up in the bed. They're all happy. Alright, good. So, that's a basic understanding of rooms, looking around, and building stuff. So, now, you can again hit B for building, W for workshop, and look at the different workshops. And I'm gonna go down, so basically Metalsmith's Forge is where you manufacture your weapons, your main weapons. Jewelry workshop, self-explanatory, you get your diamonds cut there. Butcher shop is where you butcher the meat. Tanner is where you get the skins. Crafts Dwarf is where you make crafts to sell. Where else? Then you have the Siege Workshop. I never really used it. Mechanics, where you get all your gears. Distillery is where you brew your drink. So usually I would recommend place one down as soon as you can. Place one down anywhere. Usually next to your food would be pretty nice. Farmer's Workshop might as well place one as well. Kitchen, you don't really need it. Fishery, if you have a fisherman, place a fishery down. Very important. Ashery, don't need it right now. Dyer's shop, don't need it right now. Soap makers. All of these guys are optional now. So basically just hit escape. And I'm gonna leave the dwarves do their little thing. And if a building is not building, hit Q on it. It's gonna tell you it needs workshop farming. So anybody that has any type of farming skill. So here, the brewer's shop is built. The distillery, I mean. So you can hit A and you can brew a drink. You can only brew a drink if one of the barrels are empty. So you see? Cake, cancels give water, need empty bucket. So when they need an empty bucket means that maybe somebody got a cold or something. And as you can see, he's right over here. Bradley. Is he wounded? I don't see any wounds. Let me just check real quick. He's hungry and thirsty and he's unconscious, which means he's sleeping. He might just wake up and be okay. So now, anyways, brewing a drink, very important. So let's brew a drink. As you can see, your farmer, your brewer, Cake, just went and started brewing this drink. You could hit T, and you see he takes 5 plump helmets and a wooden barrel, and he's gonna brew a drink. There you go, you brewed a drink. Now we just need to wait, and somebody's gonna go and hopefully take a step out of it eventually. So this was a basic tutorial on how to build buildings, really fast and furious. And I'm gonna pause it here. And next time, I'm thinking we're gonna cover all the food production, possibly, or no, stockpiles. Stockpiles are gonna be very, very useful. So thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, any queries, anything that is not that you're not sure about and you really need some help with, drop us a line and we'll answer as soon as possible. So again, so the Blackboard for Crosscut. Be right back.